Melon, meloncollieflaur des. Hello everyone, I am meloncollieflaur. You know what today is? It's Watermelon Wednesday. SUIKA水曜日だよ. We have made it to the middle of the week once again. Just a few more days until the weekend. So keep striving to do your best. Because I believe in you. I know you can do this. I know you got this. I support you. So let's have at it, eh? おはようございます。こんにちは。こんばんは。私はメロンコリーフラワーです。今日の配信はスイカゲームだよ。I apologize for being so late. What's weird is that this game will get updates, and so obviously I don't boot up the game until the day of, and so it's like, oh, there's an update, and so I start the update and it says, okay, it'll go from like 20 minutes down to like 9 minutes or whatever. So I scuttle away. I walk away for a little bit, and I come back to see 10 minutes ago that it says that it'll be done in like 3 hours and 20 minutes. And I'm like, huh, that's strange. Because there's nothing wrong with the internet connection. Is this supposed to be a hefty update? What's going on? So I don't know what's going on that. It's very odd to me. So I guess I'll have to just have my Switch stay on for a bit until it actually finishes the update after. I have no idea what's going on. It's specifically this game, I think. I don't know if it has to do with the Switch getting old or if it's just connection at the time, but it didn't make any sense to me. I was gonna stream an hour earlier until I saw that, but Melon. Let's see. But this isn't the first time this has happened. For me, at least. That's what's weird about it. It's been happening a lot lately. I'm not sure why. I do like to stay current on my games, so I don't know. Very, very odd. Nice. Ah, Bob, come Melon. Hello. Welcome, nice to see you. How are you? Ah. What? Okay, I'm supposed to be gaming with friends, but I'm waiting on them at the moment. Oh, okay, that's fine. As long as I'm not holding you up, that's okay. Ah! Why not put it? What are you gonna play? What? Oh. That's the question, alright. We don't know until we're like 20 minutes into a call. Oh, I get it. Gotta hold on, Melon. Sounds to me like it's just more of a hangout type of thing. Which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nice. Okay. Okay. So not the best start, but not the worst either. What? Head on. Last night we didn't even play a game, but we were supposed to play something. Right, so that means that this is a recurring thing then, I guess. Interesting. Wait. Let me do this. I've been doing a little bit of I wonder what's gonna happen if I do this. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm doing well. I'm a little late on streaming today, due to a few things, but I did not want to miss streaming today. I never want to miss streaming on Wednesday. This is basically my brand after all. Watermelon Wednesday, you know? Other days are usually debatable. Because Because I did plan, this is the issue that I run into most of the time. I did plan to stream either Monday or Tuesday this week. Because I did want to get back to Super Paper Mario. But something came up. I really need to try to make schedules. Because schedules, believe it or not, do drive things a bit better. And you always have something to look forward to, and you know that if you stay to a time and stuff, usually there isn't a huge issue. But if you freelance everything, well, not freelance, what's the word? If you don't really have a schedule, then you don't really have a plan on what you're going to do for the day or the week. So even if I think, hey, I want to stream Monday or Tuesday, if I don't actually have anything set, something will come up and then I will spend time doing something else instead. And say, I could stream the next day. And then by that point, it's already Wednesday. And it's like, oh, now it's Wednesday. Oh, shield metal. What do I do now? So that's the bad habit that I have that I really need to kick. So that's what I'm trying to do. So far, the only day I have set in stone is Wednesday. And I have the drive, I just need to solidify, you know? It's weird. Whoa. Fair enough. Sometimes it's tricky to be consistent. Yeah. Because, you know, sometimes, especially nowadays, it's hard for the mindset to stay focused, right? That's what, like I said, that's what those schedules are for. It's like when you have deadlines for projects and homework and stuff. It's to have you be able to focus on the task at hand and to complete it so that you have time to do other things. Once you stop doing that and you get out of that mindset, anything can happen, basically. Like, for example, it's like, I was going to stream today, and then it's, and then you may, like, get a message or two from friends and stuff, and it's like, hey, you want to join me in this right quick? And then right quick turns into about 5 hours. And so your original plan, or thought anyway, doesn't happen. Well, I do think it's important, though, as a streamer or a content creator, to definitely have some sort of schedule, or at least some sort of consistent time. Time will always be weird for me because I do try to attract people from different time zones and stuff, which can be a little difficult, but at the same time, when you're a small streamer, you then try to look at, like, when do people watch you more and stuff, and what do they like, and all that type of stuff. Oh, And so then you try to schedule around that as well. In real life. Oh. Right, because for Japan it's like morning right now. Yeah, I think it's 11 a.m. I think so. It's always interesting to like wake up and go, today is Wednesday, and then like say you wake up at maybe 8 or 9 a.m. It's like today is Wednesday, and then you learn that it's like Thursday in Australia or something like that already, like Thursday morning or afternoon. Isenhyaku29. Yeah, time travelers. It's miércoles in Puerto Rico. Hello, Axel. Con Melon. Hope you're doing well today. Miércoles in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is 1 hour ahead, I think. So for you guys, it's like 10 p.m. Yeah. Konnichiwa. Con Melon. I really should practice Japanese more. It's the only way I'll get better. Con Melon, more like kawaii Melon. Aw. Thank you. Do I really look cute though? Oh. Let's see. I've definitely been thinking about trying to immerse myself more in just trying to play games in Japanese and immersing myself, because obviously people don't like to study, and usually you don't really learn a language through studying completely anyway. You let it come naturally, and when you hear things like over and over, you start to understand what it means over time, since you don't have a basis on a language when you're first born and stuff. And of course it takes time, even though we want to accelerate the process. Of course, the best way to accelerate the process is to go for common phrases or the commonality, or just even easier, just listening to streams and videos and stuff consistently of like 1 or 2 people, because you'll then get used to their speech pattern. You'll get used to what they say regularly. And if you keep hearing it, then you'll at least catch on to it. Melon-chan, this is your spook. Come, Melon. How are you? Hope you're doing well today. Like you could hear like tashikani, tashikani, tashikani over and over, and you think, in this context, does this mean like certainly or something like that? And stuff like that. Or toriyazu, which is like for now. Like, I'll do this for now, or like for now this will do, or something like that. For the time being, or and stuff like that. I think what is probably the scariest with Japanese is the endings. Because if you're very particular, or rather if you're listening specifically, I guess, for words, and you're learning like verb to be, like des and stuff, a lot of times the ends of sentences end up being very modular. Even if, even if you have the same, or rather, even if the sentence is going to be the same, it's going to convey the same, like, how do I explain this? The same thought, the ending can somewhat change the feeling, I guess. Or it's more like a personality type thing. So like, what's a good one? Because there are so many different endings that you would have to get used to. And they become, like I said, modular depending on accent. Like, I'm sure you guys have seen anime at least once or twice. So even if you listen to, especially like watching, I guess, English subbed maybe, but if you're just listening, you have the word to go, which is ikimasu, or ikeru, something like that. And obviously you have ikimasu, but you also have like ikimasu yo, or like ikoyo, ikimashou, and stuff like that. But they still mean the same thing, but they carry different nuances. Or you could do something like, let's say, that's cute, isn't it, right? それは可愛いですね. And usually someone will respond with like, そうですね, or そうだな, or そうだろう, and stuff like that. Or like, man, that's cool. Like, かっこいいな. かっこいいですね. I guess as long as you get the general like thing, you understand what's being said, but you don't exactly understand like the personality being conveyed. And that's something that you just try to get used to. You can kind of tell if you watch enough anime, you can kind of tell, like, in the sense of what kind of sounds like a young kid, like a young boy, versus like the posh lady. Because a lot of times they'll end their sentences on like SUA. They usually end with wa at the end and stuff like that. Kawaii desu wa, or something like that. Do we have a lot of that in English though, I wonder? Because obviously a native speaker isn't going to think about these things because it just comes natural to them. They don't think about it. Someone learning English, asking a native, why did you use like this tense or whatever, is going to confuse them because they don't think about it, right? So I kind of wonder if we have... I guess we do in a way, because like, for example, if someone says, I'm so sorry, right? I apologize. And you would say something like, no, it's fine, or no, it's alright, or it's all good, and stuff like that, right? I guess it's kind of like that. Or don't worry about it. Head on. I love language. It's so fun. Can Melon communicate? No. Melon can't communicate. Kali can't communicate. But I try my best. In terms of studying, anyway. And I know study won't really do me a bit of good when it comes to actual communication, because usually when you study, you're not gonna learn like the common phrases that people actually say. I still haven't seen Komi Can't Communicate, actually. I just know of like the title. And apparently it's a really good series. There's a lot of like manga and anime I need to delve into that I don't have time for. Almost done collecting all the volumes. Nice. So you actually collect the manga then. That's really cool. Oh, that's a topic. It seems that people are starting to collect physicals of things now. Again, rather. Because everything old becomes new. Again, I guess. So we entered like a digital age for a while, especially with video games and I guess movies. It's missing volume 9, and I'm a massive comic fan. Aw, we only have one left, so yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to get that one. I hope, anyway. Yeah, everything, people want physicals of stuff now, again. And I guess because streaming services have become, I guess, expensive. What? Udo-chan. 1812. Isin Hakyu. Juni. Oh. Yep. The software update. It's a weird feeling the digital age really started to begin in the 70s and 80s. Really? Because I wasn't really affected until I want to say the Nintendo Wii era, where they started, where you could actually like download games. Well, I guess you couldn't. Well, no, you could. Yeah, you could download games on the Wii. And I know you could kind of technically do it before with like Game Boy Advance, like peer-to-peer and stuff. If the other person didn't have the cartridge or something like that. But like in terms of downloading games and not having to leave the house to get a game, it felt like that was around the Nintendo Wii era. And like the 3DS and stuff. Or I guess Nintendo DSi maybe? And stuff like that. So... And plus, I guess that also started the whole... Plus digital, and no one can tell if I have it for real or not. So, you know, sometimes I'll sell 7Cs and stuff, maybe. Especially if things become too expensive. Even though now things have become more expensive. But, like I said, people are now buying physicals of things. Maybe this is also because with certain older games, you couldn't really access all of it without having certain peripherals and stuff too. Like if you dig out some of your old systems or some of your old games or some of the older things, you'll notice that you had a lot of different like adapters and peripherals and whatnot that went to the system, and you needed that to connect to that to access other stuff. And there are some things that aren't emulated in that right. I guess a good example is like the Nintendo GameCube Game Boy player. I don't know if that's something that has been attempted to be emulated at all. And I don't see how or why someone would, considering you can just use a Game Boy Advance emulator. But there's something still cool about it. And for the GameCube, you still require the disc for it to boot into. But then you could also use your Game Boy Advance as a controller as well. And stuff like that. What? Why not put it? And I mostly speak on Nintendo because I'm pretty sure PSP and PS Vita had a lot of cool things too, but I never owned those. And I wonder if anyone will try to revive the Vita type stuff, or even PSP type stuff. Because I don't really know if the PSP was short-lived or not, but I'm pretty sure people loved it, right? If you guys had a PSP before, you guys could tell me your experiences on it, because I never had one. It was definitely an interesting era though. Really easy to emulate PSP, and it runs well. Oshiroi metal. That's interesting. It's a Super PS2? Ah. Soul metal. Okay. I was always like iffy with CDs and stuff because it always felt like emulators would run things slower than native, since the computer has to run extra power just to emulate that itself. Or anything that emulates anything, I guess. Around the N64 and GameCube era. And PlayStation 2 era. Discs run faster. Wait, so if the discs run faster, why does it... More storage too, right? So then why does it feel like it's harder to emulate discs than like, I guess, ROMs or whatever? Like ISO versus ROM, right? I'm definitely curious about it. PSP wasn't as strong as PS2, but it was a really powerful machine that could almost play PS2 quality games. Ah, Soul Metal. Also, online piracy was a thing since the 80s. Of course, of course. Anti-piracy laws, anti-piracy within games, access to piracy-only bosses in certain games, save file erases. But I had a PSP and Vita. ATV Off-Road Fury's insane. Aw. That's really cool. If anything, I figured people also would rather emulate ISOs because I don't know about you guys, but I went through at least 3 different Nintendo Wiis. On my original one, I think the disk drive stopped working properly. And on my second one, it did as well. So I guess CDs have more of a wear and tear. They have a lesser life. Or at least the drive, since it's constantly spinning, right? Which is a problem I thought I'd never had back in the day. I think the worst console to emulate is the PS3 because they have some very specific limitations. The reason the Xbox 360 did better at the beginning of the console wars is because it was easy to develop for Xbox 360. Okay. Well, I see. I'm definitely learning a lot because I didn't know about this. I'm no game developer, that's for sure. Xbox 360 and Windows versions at the time were pretty much the same. Oh. And then I guess things got really weird when they tried to basically do the PlayStation and GameCube versions. Or like PlayStation 2 and Wii versions. Maybe even PlayStation 3. Well, that wasn't intended. I borked them all. Oh. Okay, that'll work for now, I guess. Oh. Ah, right on. Guess it worked out after all. Okay. Question before I leave. Am I allowed to draw you, or at least attempt to? Sure. The thing is that I only use Instagram. And I barely use Instagram. I really need to use Instagram more. Maybe I should actually, you know what? I should make a Blue Sky. I should make a Blue Sky. Because people are using Blue Sky now, right? I should make one of those. But, oh wait, hold on. I had taken it away at one point because, like on my screen, because I knew that I wasn't using it often. Wish I could draw low key. Axer, don't you draw though? Or am I mistaken? Let me see. Where did I put it? Also, I've been having issues with OBS lately. It might have been the update, so I hope they come out with a new one. Unless I have to roll back to one before. Where did I put you? It looks tacky, but we'll leave it there, I guess. Yeah, I'd love to have fan art. That's fine. It's just that I don't stream as much as I would like to. I have to get, I have to be steady about it. What? I'm not good at drawing, but I'm dabbling in digital as a hobby right now? Okay, that's fair. So far, I've had a few people who've come to my chat who say they've been working on trying to get better at art, which is very interesting. It's very interesting that I've attracted those who are trying to improve upon art, because I don't draw at all. Cool. But I'm honored. I'm honored that anyone will want to draw me, actually. But yeah, I definitely need to like start using my Instagram more, since it's like the only thing that I do use. And I need to make a Blue Sky, because I never wanted to use Twitter. Alright, well, I gotta dip. Good luck with the rest of the stream. Thank you for stopping by, Bob. I really appreciate it. Please be safe. I wanted to make it to 2000 at the last minute. Or not 2000. Oh yeah, 2000. Oh. Oh, there we go. 2056. Isengo Juruk. Yeah, keeping up with social media is difficult. I mean, it definitely would have... It can make for great topics, though. Maybe I should delve into that more. That way, by the time Wednesday comes back, I'll have more to talk about on what I've seen. Positively, of course. But I'll go ahead and say this. I'm not really against emulation, especially if it does make games look better or play better. But there is something nice about dusting off an old system, seeing that it still works, and then doing something with that and enjoying old times. I think it's kind of cool. I'm in it for preservation. Nintendo loves making games unavailable for years. Yeah, that's true. And I don't understand why. Considering that they will re-release games over and over. So there's a reason why a lot of people are buying physical copies. Ooh, I wanna know. I wanna know. I'm very curious about this, actually. What? 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 Okay, there you go. Because you physically own the software on the disc. Of course, of course. That's what I figured. But then my thought process was, but wait, just now? I thought people always wanted to own a thing. Once you bought it, you owned it, right? So you don't just buy the license like with digital. Okay. Right. Because if you buy like the physical copy of a game, no one can just walk up to your door and say, hey, we need that back. It's like, no, you already bought it. Like, you paid for it. It is yours now. For instance, you're playing on the Switch SUIKA game. More than likely, it's not a physical copy. You don't own that game. Right. I don't think physical copies of SUIKA game exist. On the license to play it. Right. That is interesting. I think there was something along the lines of people having control over, because since it is I guess you can terminate like the game from working at any given time. I figured you would only terminate like the internet properties to it, but I guess if you require an internet connection to be able to play it, then that would make it where you can't play it. Because I think a lot of times you can't play a lot of these games in like airplane mode and stuff. And they can receive that license, they can revoke that license, and there's been some cases where companies have revoked access before. Right. I don't understand. Very odd to me. Like, the consumer bought the thing. Mission should be accomplished, right? It's been sold. If you manage to get people to buy your things in current year, that should already be an accomplishment, because you already know that if something is digital, it will be found somewhere and sent to the masses. Especially if they find out if it costs a lot. At this point in time, Melon, most games cost what, $70 base? Not including DLC? Because $70 to me feels unheard of. Especially since we don't do like back in the day where you got maybe 1 or 2 games at a time until like a holiday or your birthday. And so you didn't just get bored and play something else. You were determined to beat the game or play through the game or enjoy the game before you got a new one. Now we basically have libraries of games to the point where we don't finish half of them or a third of them. And we just play the games based on how we feel at the time. You know? $50 to $60 was the norm for decades. Imagine spending $50 in the 1980s on an NES game. Wasn't the Super Nintendo like $200 back in the day? It was a long time coming. Huh. What? Because I think that was the time where people were trying to justify, why would I get a Super Nintendo when I have a perfectly good Nintendo right here? And why can't it play those games? Stuff like that, right? probably got more confusing with like the Atari, since it had many different models and numbers. But hey, the Switch 2 is coming out, and that's a thing, I guess. I'm not sure what to expect, really. I've seen the trailer, I've seen what it looks like. It definitely looks nice and sleek, and it's bigger, but I don't really know what to expect from it. Other than maybe more power, which I'm not entirely sure if that's what's needed per se. Honestly, we just want the games to run without it stuttering, really. I mean, I don't know. Took them forever and a day to show it off when literal peripheral companies were showing it off before Nintendo. What, the Switch 2? Oh. 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 Okay.1586 let's see. But the cool thing about having like the physical like systems and stuff, as well as if you are a content creator or a streamer, you can show that stuff off as well. Switch 2 also Switch 2 has a stronger chipset, but can run modern frame and software, and should be a pretty powerful system. Okay. As long as games don't end up becoming like a terabyte big with like a 2 terabyte update, then I guess that's fine. If you're developing a game for a system that isn't a beefy computer, then I feel like it shouldn't require so much power. It is a game after all. Not every game is a simulator, right? You have to remember the Tegra processor the original Switch had was outdated even by the time it came out in 2017. Like they could have had a stronger CPU for 2 extra cents, but they didn't for some reason. Oh, I see. I didn't know that actually. I think I did know that they were outdated at the time, yeah. But at the same time, I also didn't buy the Switch the first year it came out. I think I did wait the second year. And then owner got it at that point in time. Not a bad system. It is kind of weird. To this day, I don't understand why the Wii U is considered a secondary failure after the Virtual Boy. I can speak. Because I think the biggest issue was it wasn't marketed right. Like, sure, the Wii came out and it was different. It was revolutionary. We're like, what is this? The Wii U came out and we were like, okay, but what is it? Other than the fact that it had like a gamepad and you could play your games on it while your like parents were watching TV, so you could play on the gamepad instead. But there were some games where the gamepad itself was just half of the TV, or an extension to the TV, so it wasn't just a double screen. You don't need... oh wait. Give me 1 second. Wow. Not even Sims take that much space. The issue is COD and some AAA games having 50 or 500 gigabyte sizes due to having extraneous files you don't need. You don't need lossless audio files. The Chinese dub of the single player campaign. Oh, I see. So it's the audio files then. That's a good point. I thought it was also like a polygon count thing as well. Yeah, audio does take up a lot of space. And like pre-rendered videos and stuff, I guess. Or videos in general. Obviously. Just giving an example. Another issue is they just offload 4K textures. And you even if you don't use them. Right. Okay. A lot of people do make games where you'll have like a setting for, might not put it, for, what is it called? It'll say like epic or legendary or something like that, where everything looks super pristine and beautiful, but you know it'll take your 4090 or so to run it. So obviously you can't do that on a console because a console is not gonna have a 4090 in it. For instance, you may only be able to play medium, but you may be forced to install insane high quality shaders or high res textures for no reason. Right, yeah. For the game to run properly or boot up, yeah. These are the things that I don't understand. This is probably a few of the reasons why a lot of people are a little tired of some of the newer stuff and just want to sit back and play some of the older things that they used to enjoy. But then again, this is me speaking on like as a Nintendo console player and not a computer multiplayer Melon, because the newer stuff had a lot more content. Of course. Expansion packs, DLC. Compare Madden today to Madden 2005. Yeah, true. Madden 2005 had a full in-depth team builder. Okay. Oh. What? So you just have replayability stripped away. Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess certain editions of games do have a thing that others don't. And then people question, why did you take this away? Why did you take away single player? Why did you take away multiplayer? Why did you take away builder? Oh, well, we realized that people weren't really playing the game for that. So we didn't do it again. I guess this is one of the reasons why it was important to have surveys back then. Thank you for buying this game. Thank you for submitting this into our... Thank you for taking the time to do our survey. What is it that you like the most about the game? What is it that you didn't like about the game? Anything else you would like to tell us? Thank you for taking your time to do the survey. old arcade NASCAR game, I think it was Total Team Control, had a whole campaign system where you were your own driver, owner, and you get contracts. But now we gimped down seasons. We have gimped down seasons. Oh. Well, interestingly enough, when it comes to like sports, racing and sports and stuff, it feels like they're always going to develop like current year, next year games for that. Be it Madden, NBA, heck, Need for Speed, I guess, FIFA, because the actual players exist, and honestly, as someone who doesn't play those games, I'm not sure what the improvements are other than graphics and the players. But obviously you do need to develop the newer, more current game to the newer, more current system. No one's going to get a PlayStation 5 and say, I want to play Madden 09, right? Or they're not gonna go, we remade Madden 09, because they don't need to. Because they have 2025. Or, you know. That's the interesting thing about sports games and farm simulators, or simulators, rather. It's insert simulator here, insert current year. And it'll sell, because, you know, new game. Sims, maybe. 1304. I'll do one more, because this is a fun conversation. I just think a lot of soul is lost, and there were so many additions with such depth. Gran Turismo 4 had a much more in-depth and detailed career mode versus Gran Turismo 7, because it was horribly chopped down. Well, there's something that people used to also say that still holds true today. Limitation breeds innovation. So even though you didn't have the same tech then that you do now, a lot of games back then were still considered immaculate. And now it's more like we've made it easier to make games because things have been easier to do due to the tech that we have. However, this also means that due to the consumers, we know that if the game is part of a franchise, they will buy it regardless of if the game is gimped down or not. If you're a huge fan of Need for Speed, then you're probably going to play all of them. You will say you didn't like certain ones, sure, but you're still probably going to play all of them. For racing games specifically, it depends. Older Need for Speed games are sometimes still more popular than newer. Huh. That's what I kind of figured. I guess this beats the, this beats the thought of people just want more graphics or better graphics. I guess this is a good argument to have then. Where people can say that some older games were objectively better despite the textures. I guess at the same time though, if people are PC gaming, a lot of times people are going to make HD mods, which I guess is a common thing, which doesn't affect the gameplay. Which is, I guess that's fine. It's kind of like the idea of you don't need a Skyrim 6 or an Elder Scrolls 8 or whatever. You just, I mean, we'll just release Skyrim each year without changing it. And You will buy it because you like Skyrim and you'll be playing it on a better system. Maybe. Racing sims just got better physics mostly. Tires have been wrecked as devs keep trying to copy iRacing with their theoretical tire model, but he's falling flat because of bad peak level slip. It's why people still play Grand Prix Legends from 1998 and NR 2003 for 2003. Okay. Like I said, I do like that older games still have charm, but it does seem like a lot of people are getting more agitated with the fact, well, I'm not gonna say the fact, but they're just getting more agitated with how games feel more watered down, but the price skyrockets regardless, I guess. So that is kind of interesting. As much as I don't want to say cash grab, the only way for people to actually make the money, or for companies to make the money, is for the consumers to buy the games. And there's probably been one or two instances where companies would say, if you don't like the game, or if you don't like our next game, don't buy it, and then people not buy it. That's not something that happens very often. Might not put it. The more I think about it, the more depressing it becomes, because the newer stuff sucks and sucks unless it does something stand out. Right. Beam NG is trying to distinguish itself by having soft body physics, and they're desperately trying to get their physics down pat so you can actually properly race or rally. Huh. I see. Oh. Okay. I guess all in all though, games definitely are more expensive, and it's harder to get those games because it's harder to make the money, or harder for the consumers to make the money, rather, in this day and age. So we look more at the quality now because we know that it costs a lot, right? I know the biggest thing, the easiest comparison, or the easiest way to understand this would be look at Pokemon Scarlet and Violet based on its graphics. Now let's look at it like this. The graphics themselves, the textures, the way that the Pokemon and the models actually look are great. However, and I can say this, however, it does not run well on its system that it was developed for. Because remember, Pokemon is only developed for Nintendo consoles. It's not a situation where the game is made for Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo systems. It's only made for Nintendo. So, and if it's only made for one specific system, then the testing and whatnot should be done with that in mind. Because like I said, if you're trying to test a game on a beefy PC, that beefy PC is obviously going to run the game better than the console that it was being made for. So I guess the best way would be to take the system emulate it onto the computer and get it to where it runs smoothly on the emulator. That way you know for certain that it's not going to be laggy on the actual hardware, since emulation tends to run a little bit laggier than the original. As developers for it, that means that they can do that on their computers. I would assume anyway. So, yeah, I don't know. There was a lot that was actually going on with Scarlet and Violet in terms of first looks. If you're talking about game deving for consoles, they get a dev kit from the company. Oh, okay. But yeah, as far as graphics goes, Scarlet and Violet looks fantastic. It just has pop-in issues and frame rate issues. And that's what's put a lot of like Pokemon fans on the edge for the most part. Because once again, not just that, but the game has DLC as well. Which isn't very common for Pokemon games. And it's happened before. But not like this. 1308. One more. PS5 dev kit was leaked online for sale, and to avoid being taken down by eBay, they put a bunch of pizzas around it and put a pizza on top of it in the photos and pretended it was a pizza oven. But how did they... We say on eBay, but on eBay... Oh, you mean the person who actually got it. Okay. But how did people find out that it was the dev kit instead of it being a pizza oven? Then. I mean, that's smart. That's definitely intelligent. You obviously don't want to get taken down and stuff, but still. That's interesting. We called it the Pizza Station 5, and we have pictures of what the dev kit looks like. The Pizza Station 5. I like that. The Easy Bake 2025. Comes with a stand. Actually, it doesn't come with a stand because it's sold separately. Or something. Oh wait, no. That's the Pizza Station 5 Pro. For pro bakers. My mistake. Oh. It's definitely interesting though. Gaming is how we spend our time. Resting for the most part. After work, after school. Or work. If you are a streamer. Or a content creator. I do like that as long as people can look at a game, play a game, and go, this game is objectively good or objectively bad based on controls or story and stuff. Like, because if someone says, well, the game is bad because the graphics don't look great, once again, people make HD texture packs and stuff. But if the controls are abysmal as well, I mean, sure, people can do like Joy to Key on computer. But so then that's where you look and go, what good can we say about it right off the bat? Because sometimes people will say, oh no, this is a good game, you just have to change your controls first and download this texture pack, then the game's good, or something like that. But if the game is outright bad because of mechanics, then that's not okay. or maybe I guess too many cutscenes, and then you play the game for about 5 minutes, and then you're stuck in like 3 more cutscenes maybe. So you're basically playing a visual novel. Which visual novels are fine as long as they are visual novels. Imposed as visual novels. But it's an interesting observation. Why? Why not put it? Wow. And it's very interesting though as well that the week goes by so quickly. People dread Mondays, and then by the time they're done dreading Monday, it's already Wednesday. And it's like, oh man, we'll be at Friday soon, and then it's Saturday, and then you're like, wait, but I only have time for one day before I go back to work. And then the cycle continues. Time keeps slipping. What? Nice. Huh. Okay. What? Ah, head on. It is kind of cool to see more indie developers though. You can tell that a lot of them do actually put a lot of passion and care into their work. And it shows a lot. Especially when people who play some of the betas and stuff say that, man, this dev knows what they're doing. It plays better than like a AAA title or something. I always used to say that fans usually know what fans want. So when they create like a fan game, it usually scratches the itch that they've been missing for a while or what have you. It's not always a sense of gamers aren't satisfied. But it comes back to the we're kind of tired of everything feeling samey, I guess. And then there's nothing really mind-blowing about the new installment. The story is bland, or it's a slog to get through because of controls and stuff like that. But hey, we still have been getting some pretty good games though, regardless. Heck, web fishing is it's just a fishing game. Inexpensive, just a chill game to like chat with people and stuff. People play Power Wash Simulator all the time. And it's literally you doing chores in virtual instead of real life. People enjoy that too. I think people just like to stay busy. I guess you don't always have to play a game that is super intense, or like you're defeating a bunch of like lizard monsters and stuff. You just want to, I guess if you're a content creator or a streamer, you just want to chat and but you want to do something with your hands while chatting as well. Because that's kind of our mindset now. It's kind of hard to just stay still and speak, you know? So this is where we are now. And once again, it doesn't have to be bad. Oh. Aww. Nice. Okay. So put this here. That works. And okay. That works too. Sorry for clearing my throat so much today, guys. I apologize. Been very talkative as of late, which is good. It definitely made the hour go by like really fast. I do like engaging with my viewers, so it's fun. Oh. Ah, 2094. 2096. No, 6じゃない。94. Okay. So, not too bad today. Really fun conversation too. 見てくれてありがとう。聞いてくれてありがとう。Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Definitely stay tuned for when I stream next. If it's not Wednesday, it will probably be Super Paper Mario. Just glad I could make it. Of course. I'm glad you made it too. We had a nice conversation. I like talking about stuff like this. I like talking about basically what's the current thing and what's the struggle and what can we do to improve upon things or what makes us happy. So I like stuff like this. It makes for a great conversation. For the VOD watchers out there, thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you liked what you saw or heard, like, comment, subscribe. Really helps me out. I'm very small. But yeah, until next time, I am meloncollieflaur, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Oats Melon.